Ah, brilliant. Good morning, magical Beena. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
I know you are doing
One,
well
one, one
because you
moment,
just
one
have.
moment, one moment.
Okay.
There we go. Good morning, good morning.
Okay. I know that you are doing good because you just have just getting done with your podcast with Jill Nicolini, the celebrity interviewer, and then
Yeah,
you had
yeah,
today you had your poem there. A wonderful poem, of course.
yeah.
That the me of now and then. The concept in itself, of course, at some point we are going to share it again. But the poem itself, the concept, the me of now and then. This is really crucial. Every now and
Brilliant.
then, pay attention to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
we are now because we are the result or the consequence. Right now, me of now is a consequence or a result of me of then who made deliberate choices or not. So whatever
Yes,
choices I'm making, my future is just a consequence of them. And so as right now, I am a consequence of my past made choices. That's why it is important to pay attention. Where I am today, it's not just like, okay, oh yes, I'm barely on the mercy of something. No, I am completely on mercy of my own choices. And this is something we need to pay attention. So for me, that poem of me of now and then is
yes,
really an eye opener, and also that it gives
yes.
you so much to think about. It gives you so much to think about. It
Yeah,
is actually one of very few things which really holds you and say that, okay, take a power pause, just stay still, see what this poem is sharing, see what he's saying. So that is something I personally found very profound and very
it is. It
poem. So
is.
thank you so much, sir, for sharing.
It's a deeply profound poem, and it's a hugely
Yes,
affecting poem. Now,
exactly.
Bina, you make a very, very powerful point here, um, uh, which is about, um, you said, we are the consequence of our choices in the past,
Yes.
which means we are going to be, our future is the consequence of our decisions now.
Now,
All right.
exactly.
Now, yes, the poem addresses what to do if you have made poor decisions. If you have, it's
Yes.
not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Um, right? What you can do
Yes.
is change. If
Exactly.
you made poor decisions, if you've done those horrid things mentioned in the poem, if you've done things that you are deeply ashamed of, that you deeply regret, you don't have to live with it all your life. You can't just ignore it if you are genuine, or even if you aren't, right? Because they matter. However, you can become a different person. If
Yes.
you do become a different person, then you can let go the past. Then the past becomes a ghost because it no longer applies to you.
Yes.
Crucial,
Yes.
crucial, crucial, crucial point. I dealt
Exactly.
with people in way of impeccability and in other ways in a very big way, which who had pasts which they were deeply ashamed of. Yeah? And they changed to doing way of impeccability. They changed. They changed so profoundly. Then I said, "Can you do those things?" I said, "No, it's impossible. I could never do that. There's just no way. Even if you paid me $1 trillion, I could not do it. It's just not possible. I'm not that person." See? Now then maybe use those exact words, but that's it. I am no longer that person anymore. There's a cadence to that poem. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a big, big, big deal, this poem. It's a very big deal. I mean, it's not only the content is profound, but poetically it's a big deal as well. Right? Not a simple poem. Not a simple poem.
Yes.
Much,
Yes.
much,
Yes.
much to it. Much depth, much
Yes.
layeredness, and much moreness. Yeah, it's a huge
Yes,
deal.
I'm keen to. Okay, actually, I'm deliberately. not actually requesting you to share this today, because soon we might have something really fun with you guys to share with. So that's why I'm
Well,
just keeping it for that. We have already shared that, but this
we
time it
shared
would
it
be a
like last week or the week before we shared it. Yeah.
yes. So that's why we are not going to do this again. But next time in future, near future, you will see that in a different way. So
Yeah.
this is something, yes. That's why I'm trying to
Yeah.
keep my focus on the concept of me of now and then instead of poem
Yeah.
itself,
The
because
me
poem is
of
a
then and now. The me of
yes, the me of
then and
then
now.
and
Yeah.
now.
Sorry.
Yes. This
It's a tricky
concept,
name. It's a tricky name.
yes, but no, it's not tricky, but it is just like my
It
like
doesn't
what can I
sit in the brain somehow. Yeah. It's got that nebulosity to it, that ineffability to it, which is powerful. Which is powerful.
yes.
Yeah, and
So what
you can look it up as I mentioned on the show today, the podcast with Jill, the interview. She really liked the poem, and it was a great session we had today. And I mentioned there that you can look it up on YouTube. Put it in inverted commas, the me of then and now. If you put it in inverted commas, you get that exact phrase. Otherwise, you get partial phrases, and you'll find other stuff. Right? But if you look up
yeah,
the me of then and now, if you add my name there by Syl Sabastian, it'll definitely come up. Or just look me up and then search within my content for it. Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of different ones, but look up the poem itself. Right? It's got kind of a bluish picture to it of a woman's face. Yeah, looking to the side. That's the original one. The one that I made the nice video of, because I read it before that also. There are a couple of different variations. If you're really looking for it, you want to watch it, just ask me. I'll send you the link. Yeah, that'll be the easiest.
yes.
Because I have when it's about 10, when I put that title in, about 10 different posts come up because, we did it, we shared. And so, yeah, it comes up in the lives, have a big, long discussion about it. But the video itself is the core thing there. Very cool indeed. Very cool indeed. All right. We are almost ready to go, Beena.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. I'm just setting up here. I, hey, hey. No double talking. No double talking allowed. When you click so that you can see the comments, then there's double talking. All right. So now I need to get out of this. Go back there. Why it gets complicated sometimes. Uh, here we go. Oh, that's not what I wanted. All right. I want to just share this to Norma before we get going. Norma said they changed something, so she's having a bit of a hard time finding the lives, the opens, as we'd like to call them better. Finding the opens, because that's what they are. They're open. They're open. Open to everybody. Open to any topic, any format, anything. They're open to everything. All right. So coming, Norma, sharing, and we'll share to Sher as well. Norma and Sher, and let's see if there's anybody else to share to. All right. Or maybe share to Lisa, just for the fun of it. Okay. Since Limo came into it today. In the poem, the aspirant starts off, an aspirant says to Limo, or the aspirant says to Limo. Limo is in the
Are we
poem.
going to share the poem
Yes,
again?
yes. I'm just finishing this. I was just sharing the links to Norma and to.
No, I'm just saying in the live. Are we
Oh
going to
no,
share?
no, no, no,
Oh, okay.
no, no. Because we did it
Okay,
like
okay.
I don't know, a week or two back. So we'll do it
Yes.
again. We'll do it again, but give it a little bit of time. Uh, okay, I'll have to respond to those questions a bit later. Yeah. All right. I just have to wait a bit. Yeah. Well, let me just send this here. Okay. Almost ready. Almost ready. Almost. I'll screen share in a moment. There we go. All right. Taking care of that. And we do screen share, and we're going to continue reading Coriolanus. Not Coriolanus, but Coriolanus, which is rather interesting. Yes, you think for Roman names, it's a Shakespeare play set in olden Roman times. And you would think that it would be Coriolanus, not Coriolanus. Coriolanus is, I don't know, there's the Coriolanus effect, like around the sun. Yeah. But I don't think it's connected to that, but you never know. You never know. Okay, we get all this stuff out the way. We're getting there. So what's the story so far, Beena?
The story of this, the Shakespeare, what they're saying?
Yes, of Coriolanus. Oh, it is Coriolanus, not Coriolanus. Okay, so I remember it incorrectly. It is Coriolanus. I was going to say, brain, why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? So that's why I was so surprised. It is Coriolanus. Why did I remember Coriolanus? Anyway, all right, here we go. Scene 10. So the story so far, real simple, is just the main guy, Marcius, he's now got a new name. He's now, what was his name here? Right? He's now called Coriolanus. Oh, that's the name because of from Corioli. He helped defeat the city of Corioli, which was the capital of the Volsces. And he's the big yellow hero militarily, and he's very ambitious, and he may be up to skullduggery. And the play's only getting started, so the beginning hinted that he's very ambitious and he might use not so scrupulous methods of satisfying his ambition. But in the battle, he didn't really need to claim the victories of Cominius as his own, or as they said, was the general who he was under. Or to say, well, if I'd been there, it would have gone better. He did do better. He did actually do better than Cominius. So he doesn't have to make any false claims. So it's rather interesting. They set him up that he was going to use these mechanisms, but it turns out he really was the hero. Yeah. So, all right. We'll see where it goes. It's quite fascinating. Yeah, Beena, don't you think?
Yes.
It's a bit of a surprise, right? We got
exactly
to expect something. And then
yes.
Shakespeare, you turn it upside down on us. So now we don't know, is Marcius a villain or a good guy? Or both? Likely both. Complex characters, that's Shakespeare. All right, scene 10, the camp of the Volsces. A flourish, cornets. Enter Tullus Aufidius, bloody with 2 or 3 soldiers. Tullus Aufidius is the general of the Volsces, right? The now defeated general. Aufidius. The town is taken. Yeah. Why they have to say taken, not taken, I don't know, but that's just the accent. Yeah. First soldier. It will be delivered back on good condition, Aufidius. Condition! I would I were a Roman, for I cannot, being a Volsci, be that I am. Condition? What good condition can a treaty find in that part that is at mercy? 5 times, Marcius, I have fought with thee. So often hast thou beat me, and wouldst do so. I think, should we encounter, as often as we eat, by the elements, if e'er again I meet him beard to beard, he's mine or I am his. Mine emulation hath not that honor, isn't it had? For where I thought to crush him in an equal force, true sword to sword, I'll potch him in some way, or wrath or craft may get him. First soldier, he's the devil. Aufidius, bolder, though not so subtle. He's bolder than the devil, but not so subtle. Wow, that's a very peculiar praise right there, don't you think, Beena?
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's good or bad, but he is trying to sort of, at least describe him, but it seems like a compliment in a way. Bolder, though not so subtle. my valor's poisoned, with only suffering stained by him. For him shall fly out of itself, nor sleep nor sanctuary, being naked, sick, nor fane nor capital, the prayers of priests nor times of sacrifice, embarkments all of fury, shall lift up their rotten privilege and custom against. My hate of Marcius, were I to find him, were it at home upon my brother's guard, even there, against the hospitable canon, would I wash my fierce hand in his heart. Go you to the city, learn how 'tis held, and what they are that must be hostages for Rome. First soldier, will not you go? Aufidius, I am attended at the cypress grove. I pray you, the south, the city mills, bring me word thither, how the world goes, that to the pace of it I may spur on my journey. I shall so. Now, that's interesting, the cadence there. Right? How the world goes, that to the pace of it. Yeah, let me read the whole thing. Bring me word thither, how the world goes, that to the pace of it I may spur on my journey. I would have left out the on there. Right? Bring me word thither, how the world goes, that to the pace of it I may spur my journey. See? It seems to me
Yes.
a rare slip by Shakespeare. But maybe the pronunciation of the time, which is different to now, may make that difference. Yeah. First shoulder. I shall, sir. Excellent. Exit. Act 2. So now we are already on, we are on, where are we now? Where are we now? Scene 10. Scene 10, Act 2. I see. Oh no, the whole play, Act 2. That was Act 1, Scene 10. That makes sense. So now we're on Act 2. Right? Act 2, Scene 1. Yep. Rome, a public place. Enter Menenius, Sicinius, and Brutus. Now, just for those filling in, Menenius, the play started with citizens that were upset and looking to revolt and protest and cause trouble because they didn't like the grain prices that were being forced on them. They wanted to set their own grain prices. They weren't getting enough grain, and just civil unrest, right? And Menenius took them down, and they were hell bent on going and killing Marcius. And he didn't quite talk them out of it, but he spoke well of Marcius, and he spoke well of the senators, and he equated the Senate to your stomach, that this is where the stuff goes, and from there it all gets distributed. So he somewhat succeeded. He calmed it down to some extent. And then Sicinius and Brutus, these are newly appointed tribunes of the people, right? Because there's, to Marcius, you're not a citizen. You don't deserve grain if you're not in the military. Now, this is quite a serious thing, right? At some point, essentially, Rome was very much defined by being in the military, and you became a citizen through that. And you could become a citizen even if you weren't born Roman via joining the auxiliary, it was called, right? So you had all sorts of people becoming citizens because of military service. So this was very, very serious in the life. And over time, of course, it got to be less strong because Rome got really big and got fairly peaceful, and they didn't really need the military so much in the days of early expansion. You know, they started to hold their spaces. They didn't go out and looking for greater conquest because it really wasn't worthwhile, wasn't worth the effort, wasn't worth the reward. And they had enough to contend with internally, just with internal strife. So this sort of not decline, but shift of emphasis of what's important, with the military being everything, not so much anymore. So therefore, this liaisons between the military and the people were appointed, calling them tribunes of the people. Now, tribune is a military rank. It's quite a high military rank. But a tribune of the people, it's like, all right, well, we're now giving you some liaison and we're giving this fancy name. So Sicinius and Brutus are the tribunes to the people, and they are the two fellows who said, we're going to see with Marcius that he's going to claim the victories for his own. He's going to say the faults wouldn't have happened if he was there, etc. Right? So now we're going to see how they update this now that Marcius has actually shown to really deliver. I mean, he really did. He was the hero of the big battle. Right? Menenius. The augurer tells me we shall have good news tonight. An augurer is a prophet, in other words, right? But not in the sense that we know prophet. When we hear the word prophet, we think religious. So an augurer is one who reads the omens, the auguries, right? And to augur is to tell the future. And augurs can use a variety of different methods, right? Mostly we think of predicting the future from astrologers. Yes, that's one way of doing it. But augurs would use things like tea leaves and bones and that type of stuff, right? More nebulous type of a thing, right? So auguring is a very specific form of telling the future, right? And it's not necessarily in a sense. It's not like you go to a fortune teller and they tell you a fortune. No, that's a different thing, right? I mean, you may get that from an augurer, but an augurer is specifically reading not omens in themselves, but particular methods of looking to forecast, right? Like say, you'll do specific things, whereas omens, they just happen. You can't like make it happen. So auguring is doing things that you specifically looking to reveal what's coming, right? The augurer tells me we shall have good news tonight. Brutus, good or bad? Oh, we shall have news tonight. Brutus, good or bad? Menenius, not according to the prayer of the people, for they love not Marcius. Sicinius, nature teaches beasts to know their friends. Wow. Menenius, pray you, what does the wolf love? Sicinius, the lamb. Menenius, to devour him as the hungry plebeians would the noble Marcius. Right? Plebeians, common people. Right? That's why the word pleb comes from. Yeah, don't be a pleb. But when you hear the full word, it sounds a bit fancier, right? Plebeian. And also it ties to a plebiscite, right? Which is a vote held by people, like a referendum plebiscite. Hence the word, right? Kind of nice to see how these words all connecting, right?
Yes.
As the hungry plebeians with the noble Marcius, Brutus. Brutus, he's a lamb indeed, that bays like a bear. Oh, bays. So to bay, yeah? To kind of not growl, like almost howl, but to bay. That's interesting that it's spelled B-A-A-S. I never seen the spelling, unless it's just a typo, and there should be a Y in there, but yeah. Very interesting, very interesting. Because in Afrikaans, baas means boss, and it's very racially loaded term from back in the day. But anyway, so he's a lamb indeed that bays like a bear. That's interesting. He was being a bear. Yeah, unless we're going to find out later that he had some skullduggery that we didn't see, but he really was the bear in the battle, right? He didn't just bay like a bear. He's not a lamb. So I think these three are in for some rude awakening, if you ask me, right, Beena?
Yes. Yes.
Menenius. See, yeah, Menenius comes. He's a bear indeed that lives like a lamb. Now we're starting to get it. Because after the battle, when Cominius wanted to say take 10% of the earnings, you get first pick, and very generous. He said, no, I'll just take the same as everybody else. Very noble, supposedly, right? But he's a real bear. Be careful. But he lives like a lamb. Yeah. Yeah. You two are old men. Tell me one thing that I shall ask you, both tribunes. Well, sir, Menenius, in that enormity, in what enormity is Marcus poor in, that you two have not in abundance? Wow, interesting question. So Menenius asks the tribunes of the people, in what enormity is Marcus poor in, that you two have not in abundance? Oh, very interesting question, because that's kind of the same thing. If they don't have it in abundance, they're also poor in it. Yeah,
Yep.
very interesting. Brutus. He's poor in no one fault, but stored with all. Sicinius, especially in pride. Brutus. And topping all others in boasting. Very interesting. Was Marcius boastful so far? Beena?
Yes.
Has Marcius been boastful so far?
Yes.
No, he hasn't, right? I mean, he delivered. He delivered.
Yes.
And
But
afterwards, he didn't say, he was, you know, he was quite humble in a way. All right, he did it in a very crafty way that still got him praise, but it
exactly.
wasn't through boasting. It wasn't through boasting. Yeah. And topping all others in boasting, Menenius. This is strange now. Do you two know how you are censured here in the city? I mean of us, oh, the right-hand file. Do you? I'm not sure what he means exactly by the right-hand file here. Maybe officers, senators, elite, something like that. My implication in the context.
Mm.
Yeah, both tribunes. Why? How are we censured? Menenius. Because you talk of pride now. Will you not be angry? Both tribunes. Well, sir, well. Very British, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Menenius. Why? 'Tis no great matter, for a very little thief of occasion will rob you of a great deal of patience, give your dispositions the reins, and be angry at your pleasures, at the least, if you take it as a pleasure to you in being so. You blame Marcius for being proud. Brutus. We do not do it alone, sir. Menenius. I know you can do very little alone, for your helps are many, or else your actions would grow wondrous single. Your abilities are too infant, like for doing much alone. You talk of pride. Oh, that you could turn your eyes toward the napes of your necks, and make but an interior survey of your good selves. Oh, that you could. Both tribunes. What then, sir? He's kind of laying the smack down a bit on these guys in a nice, gentle way, yes?
Yes.
Menenius. I am known to be a humorous patrician. And well, humorous now in the context of not necessarily amusing, but humorous in the
Yes.
double play. Of what humor are you, sir? What's your mood, in other words, right? So, and humorous here, meaning that he has good energy, good vibe. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So he's not just kind of wild and angry, right? He modifies it, in other words. I am
Mm-hmm.
known to be a humorous patrician, and one that loves a cup of hot wine with not a drop of a laying Tiber in it. In other words, not watered down with the water from the Tiber. Tiber's the river that runs through Rome. With not a drop of a laying Tiber in it. Said to be something imperfect in favoring the first complaint. Hasty and tender, alike upon too trivial motion. One that converses more with the buttock of the night than with the forehead of the morning. What I think I utter, and spend my malice in my breath. Meeting two such wheelsmen as you are, I cannot call you Lycurguses. Lycurguses. Uh, uh, Lycurguses, I would assume in some way saying wolfmen, because like a lycanthrope is a partial wolfy, it's got to do with being a wolf in some way, right? So that's because they talked about the wolf and the lamb. So I cannot call you like Lycurguses. If the drink you gave me touch my palate adversely, I make a crooked face at it. In other words, I can't pretend. If you give me something that tastes terrible, my face is going to show it. I'm honest, in other words.
Yes.
I cannot say your worships have delivered the matter well when I find the ass in compound with a major part of your syllables. The ass in compound with a major part of your syllables. And though I must be content to bear with those that say you are reverend grave men, yet they lie deadly that tell you have good faces. Yet they lie deadly that tell you have that tell of that speak. Yet they lie deadly that tell you have good faces. All in the emphasis, the cadence, right? Yet they lie
Yes.
deadly that tell you have good faces. If you see this in the map of my microcosm, follows it that I am known well enough to? What harm can you beson conspicuities? You beson conspicuities. Conspicuities, yeah. What harm can you beson conspicuities glean out of this character, if I be known well enough to? Brutus. Come, sir, come. We know you well enough. Menenius. You know neither me, yourselves, nor anything. You are ambitious for poor knaves' caps and legs. You wear out a good wholesome forenoon in hearing a cause between an orange wife and a faucet seller, and then rejoin the controversy of threepence to a second day of audience. Petty and trivial to the extreme, in other words. When you are hearing a matter between party and party, if you chance to be pitched with a colleague, you make faces like mummers actors, mummery having it up, right? Mummers are particularly not really good actors, right? Kind of like really hamming it up, right? Set up the bloody flag against all patience, and in roaring for the chamber pot, dismiss the controversy bleeding. The more entangled by your hearing, all the peace you make in their cause is calling both the parties knaves. You are a pair of strange ones. Wow, he's not holding back here, kind of laying it out. But it's making it clear now that the earlier commentary by these two tribunes here of the people, that they were being unjust and inaccurate towards Marcius, yes? So Marcius
Yes.
does seem to be a good guy because we only had their word for it. But now Menenius is saying, no, you guys are very petty, very trivial. You go into exceeding detail. I mean, you BMNs and but they're not even really good BMNs. They're like exceedingly petty, trivial BMNs, right? Bureaucrats of pettiness, yeah, and gossip and stuff like that. You are a pair of strange ones, Brutus. Come, come. You are well understood to be a perfected giber for the table than a necessary bencher in the capital. Wow. He's not saying, well, you're not worthy of being a senator necessarily, right? Yeah. Huh. So
Yes.
you just say, oh, you're good at talking, but that doesn't mean that you've got substance. Huh. Menenius. Our very priests must become mockers if they shall encounter such ridiculous subjects as you are. When you speak best unto the purpose, it is not worth the wagging of your beards, and your beards deserve not so honorable a grave as to stuff a botcher's cushion, or to be entombed in an ass's pack saddle. Ow! So even their beard trimmings aren't even worthy of being stuffed in a botcher's cushion. A botcher's, obviously, to botch it is like to make blunders, to mess it up, to botch the job, right? So a botcher is a inept, horrible, inept person, right? Yet you must be saying, Marcus is proud, who, in a cheap estimation, is worth all your predecessors since Duke Callian, though per adventure some of the best of them were hereditary hangmen. God then to your worships, more of your conversation would infect my brain, being the herdsman of the beastly plebeians. Being the herdsman of the beastly plebeians, I will be bold to take my leave of you. Yeah. So all they can do is herd the rabble. Yes. Yeah. And Brutus and Sicinius retire. enter Volumnia, Virgilia, Valeria, etc. Oh, and company, and company. How now, as my fair, how now, my as fair as noble ladies, and the moon, were she earthly, no nobler, whither do you follow your eyes so fast? Volumnia. Honorable Menenius, my boy Marcius approaches. For the love of Juno, let's go. Ha! Marcius coming home, says Menenius. Volumnia. Ay, worthy Menenius, and with most prosperous approbation. Menenius. Take my cap, Jupiter, and I thank thee. Who? Marcus coming home. Volumnia, Virgilia. Nay, 'tis true. Volumnia. Look, here's a letter from him. The state hath another, his wife another, and I think there's one at home for you. Menenius. I will make my very house reel tonight. A letter for me? Virgilia. Yes, certain. There's a letter for you. I saw it. Menenius. A letter for me. It gives me an estate of 7 years' health, in which time I will make a lip at the physician. The most sovereign prescription in Galen is but empiriceutic, and empiriceutic. Huh. Um, I think that is meaning in the context here, like to be empiric test is to be objective, right? So it's an objective test of him, right? And to this preservative of no better report than a horse trench. Is he not wounded? He is one to come home wounded. He is. Virgilia. Oh, no, no, no. Volumnia. Oh, he is wounded. I thank the gods for it. Yeah. So Volumnia, remember, the Virgilia, the wife, doesn't want him to be wounded, but the mother, oh no, she loves the wounds because this makes him a hero. Menenius, so do I too. If it be not too much, yeah, not too much, brings a victory in his pocket. The wounds become him. Volumnia, on's brows, Menenius. He comes the third time home with the oaken garland. Wow. Menenius, has he disciplined Aufidius soundly? Volumnia, Titus Latius writes, they fought together, but Aufidius got off. Menenius, and 'twas time for him too, I'll warrant him that, and he had stayed with him. I would not have been so fiduced for all the chests of Corioli and the golds that's in them. Is the Senate possessed of this? Volumnia, good ladies, let's go. Yes, yes, yes. The Senate has letters from the general, wherein he gives my son the whole name of the war. He hath in this action outdone his former deeds doubly. Valeria, in troth, there's wondrous things spoke of him. Menenius, wondrous, ay, I warrant you, and not without his true purchasing. Virgilia, the gods grant them true. Volumnia, true, pow, wow. True, pow, wow. Menenius, true, I'll be sworn they are true. Where is he wounded? To the tribunes who come forward. God save your good worships. Marcus is coming home. He has more cause to be proud. Where is he wounded? He sticks it a bit to the tribunes, right? He has more cause to be proud, right? Where is he wounded? Volumnia. In the shoulder and in the left arm. There will be large cicatrices. Cicatrices. I'm not sure. Yeah. There will be large cicatrices to show the people when he shall stand for his place. He received in the repulse of Tarquin 7 hurts in the body. Menenius, 1 in the neck and 2 in the thigh. That's 9 that I know. Counting all the details, right? Too funny. Yeah. Volumnia, he had before this last expedition 25 wounds upon him. Menenius, now he's 27. Every gash was an enemy's grave. A shout and flourish. Hark, the trumpets. Volumnia, these are the ashes of Marcius before him. He carries noise, and behind him he leaves tears. Death, that dark spirit, in Nervi's arm ins nervis arm doth lie, which being advanced declines, and then men die. A senate, trumpet sound, enter Cominius and Titus Latius, between them Coriolanus, crowned with an oaken garland, with captains and soldiers and a herald. Herald, right? The herald are coming in force in front to announce what's coming behind, right? This massively, wonderfully self-important. You've got to be announced. But okay, that's superiority paradigm logic for you. Herald. No, Rome, that all alone Marcius did fight within Corioli gates, where he hath won with fame a name to Caius Marcius. These in honor follows Coriolanus. Welcome to Rome, renowned Coriolanus. Flourish. I hope I'm doing the herald some justice there, right? That's kind of how you would do that, right? All. Welcome to Rome, renowned Coriolanus. Coriolanus. No more of this. It does offend my heart. Pray now, no more. Mr. Modesty, Mr. Humility. We'll still see if it's genuine or not. I'm suspecting that it is, but we'll see. Cominius. Look, sir, your mother, Coriolanus. Oh, you have, I know, petitioned all the gods for my prosperity. Now, kneels. He's really the good son, right? Praising his mother very highly. He petitioned all the gods for my prosperity. Not only has he got the war benefits, but his mother's there too. Melamnia, nay, my good soldier, up, my gentle Marcius, worthy Caius, and by deed achieving honor newly named. What is it? Coriolanus, must I call thee? But, oh, thy wife. Coriolanus, my gracious silence, hail. Wouldst thou have laughed had I come coffined home, that weeps to see me triumph? Ah, my dear, such eyes the widows in Corioli wear, and mothers that lack sons. He's seeing some sadness in his wife, sounds like, yeah? Menenius, now the gods crown thee, Coriolanus, and live you yet, to Valeria. Oh, my sweet lady, pardon. Melamnia, I know not where to turn. Oh, welcome home, and welcome, general. And you are welcome all. Sorry, and you are welcome all. Menenius, 100,000 welcomes. I would weep and I could laugh. I am light and heavy. Welcome. A curse begin at every root one's heart that is not glad to see thee. Oh, a curse begin at every root one's heart that is not glad to see thee. You are three that Rome should dote on. Yet, by the faith of men, we have some old crab trees here at home that will not be grafted to your relish. Yet welcome, warriors. We call a nettle but a nettle, and the faults of fools but folly. Cominius, every right. Coriolanus, Menenius, ever. Herald, give way there and go on. Get out of the way, people. Important people are coming by. Don't you dare get in their way. Coriolanus to his wife and mother. Your hand and yours. Here in our own house I do shade my head. The good patricians must be visited, for whom I have received not only greetings, but with them change of honors. He has to go and visit the patricians, the elders, right? The leaders, right? Melamnia, I have lived to see inherited my very wishes and the buildings of my fancy. Only there's one thing wanting, which I doubt not, but our Rome will cast upon thee. What's wanting? Right? Melamnia says there's one thing missing. Does he not have children? Is that what she's maybe referring?
Maybe.
Yeah. Coriolanus, no, good mother. I had rather be their servant in my way than sway with them in theirs. Cominius, on to the capital. Flourish, cornets, exuent in state as before. In state, in pomp and ceremony, in other words, right? The tribunes remain. Right, now we're going to hear some, right? Backstabbing, sly, pulling down, resentment. Yes,
Uh,
right? Just my anticipation, right? Brutus. All tongues speak of him, and the bleared sights are spectacle to see him. Your prattling nurse into a rapture lets her baby cry, while she chats him the kitchen milk and pins, her richest lacrum about her reachy neck, clambering the walls to eye him. Stalls, bulks, windows are smothered up, leads filled and ridges horsed, with variable complexions, all agreeing in earnestness to see him. Cells shown flamens do press among the popular throngs, and puff to win a vulgar station. Our veiled dames commit the war of white and damask in their nicely gauded cheeks to the wanton spoil of Phoebus's burning kisses. Such a pother, as if that whatsoever God who leads him was slyly crept into his human powers and gave him graceful posture. Yeah, so, very resentful of the success here, right?
yes.
Yeah. Sicinius. On the sudden, I warrant him consul. Now he's saying something quite serious here. He's saying, wow, after this battle, it's likely he may go all the way to the top to be consul, right? Which is the top there, right? Brutus. Then our office may, during his power, go sleep. So this whole tribune of the people, Marcius, is very anti this. He said, well, you guys want grain and everything, join the military. And this tribune of the people was set up to kind of make some balance, to be diplomatic, to have things, give the population some voice and connectivity. But if Marcius were consul, he'll say, no, to hell with you guys, join the military, and he'll stick on that, right? So their jobs will go away. So now we start to see Sicinius and Brutus, their self-interest start to show, their skullduggery by trying to pull down Marcius, or now Coriolanus, to try and pull him down, right? Because they want to keep the status quo. Okay. And now we start to see Brutus. Then our office may, during his power, go sleep. Sicinius. He cannot temperately transport his honors from where he should begin and end, but will lose those he hath won. So he's saying Marcius, or Cominius, Coriolanus, the new Coriolanus now. He cannot temperately transport his honors. In other words, he can't be even keeled. He's kind of wild and exaggerated. So he can't transport his honors. He won't be able to shift these honors into something more mellow, more appropriate, more gentle, from where he should begin and end, but will lose those he hath won. So he's saying he's going to be his own worst enemy, at least according to Sicinius. Brutus. In that there's comfort. But we'll see if this is true, or if they're not just saying this because they wish it to be true. Yeah. Or in the earlier, right, in that scene 2, I think it was, where they were kind of saying, well, he's going to claim all this. It sounds like this is what they do, and it's philosophy of opposite coming out. That opposite speak, yes? Where they were describing, then Marcius, according to how they do things, not according to how he does it. Yeah, this is them talking about themselves, Brutus, or at least wishful thinking, which also, but it goes to what they can. That's how they have lost their honors. Yeah, and so they now hoping for this, right? So it's a complex psychology here, right? And when we understand superiority paradigm psychology, it makes this very easy to understand. This is what VMNs do. Yes. Now, these ones, they have a little bit of status. They don't have any real power, but they have some status, which is where people like that end up, right? Because you can't trust them with power, but they keep pressing for status, and, well, you need somebody. Okay, they're kind of a nuisance otherwise, right? But also they continue looking to pull down, and they're not honest. So they have this wishful thinking to try and make what they like it to be. Yeah. And also, of course, justify themselves in the same time. Brutus. In that there's comfort. Sicinius. Doubt not the commoners for whom we stand, But they, upon their ancient malice, will forget with the least cause these new honors, which that he will give them make as little question as he is proud to do it. Yeah, and that's, the public is very fickle, in other words, right? And especially in Rome, this is very much written about how fickle the public. One day they hate you, and the next day they love you, right? This goes from one extreme to the other. It's very common in writing of the time. Yeah, and Brutus, I heard him swear, were he to stand for consul, never would he appear in the marketplace, nor on him put the napless vesture of humility, nor showing, as the manner is, his wounds to the people, beg their stinking breaths. Right. So this was this thing of the wounds is not just a peculiarity of Volumnia and Menenius. It was a thing that when you came back from the battle, you showed your wounds to the people. You didn't just say I got wounded; you had to actually show it. So it was kind of a proof thing, right? Are you for real or not? Yeah. And of course, it turned into a big thing of honor to say, look how I got wounded. If you didn't get wounded, you had less honor than if you did get wounded, because if you were wounded, there was proof that you were fighting. If you didn't, well, you may really be the best fighter ever, but well, we only got your word for it. Yeah. And now we can see that you actually did the fighting. Yeah. So very interesting. Peculiar traditions that are in Rome. Rome had many peculiar traditions. This is one of them, showing the wounds. Yeah. To people, as is the manage, right? No, showing as is the manage his wounds to the people. Well, and he doesn't make it very nice. He says, beg their stinking breaths. Well, you're looking to get approval from the people, but he's not. He's a tribune of the people, but he doesn't think much of the people, right? Which is typical.
Yes.
Again, BMN logic, right? Sicinius, that's right. Brutus, it was his word. Oh, he would miss it rather than carry it by the suit of the gentry to him and the desires of the nobles. Yeah, so man of the people for real, but in a different way. So he's not fully supportive of the lazy, the rebel, but he is a man of the real people. That's what we can determine from this, right? Sicinius, I wish no better than have him hold that purpose and to put it in execution. Brutus, this most likely will. And yeah, if I'm understanding this correctly, we'll wait a bit and see. But I'm saying Coriolanus, the new Coriolanus, the old Marcius, he said he's not going to do these things of popularity, yeah, because he'll rather be more genuine, in other words. But Sicinius says, and Brutus, they hope that he will go against this policy because they can use it against him. He's being real, but they'll find a way to use it against him. Yeah. Sicinius, it shall be to him then as our good wills a sure destruction. Wow, they're plotting his downfall, but they in their bubble speak, their double speak, their BMN speak, right? They don't say we want to bring him down simply because we're jealous of him and we don't like him, but they are saying, well, it's going to happen. It's like they're making a prognostication, showing how clever they are to see the future. They're figuring it all out, right? It shall be to him then as our good wills a sure destruction. But this is brilliant, brilliant writing by Shakespeare.
Wow.
Yeah? They mean it, right? And that it's going to happen as inevitable as our goodwill is inevitable. Yeah, a sure destruction. But their good wills are going to be their destruction. He's predicting their own destruction, but doesn't realize it. And this is actually how things come out of people. When you practice capital H hearing, you hear people say things like this.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah.
But someone has joined us on Instagram, so please.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. All right, let me say hello to the Instagrammer. Elise Sugar. and Lubna Siddiqui. Hello, Lubna. Hello, Lubna. Hello, Lubna. Lubna says hello. I love saying hello to you, Lubna. It's just a wonderful thing, by the way.
And
Very
Elise,
profound thing.
assume that she's the one who is joining us often.
Regularly, correct?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes,
We love it, Elise. We love it. We love it. We love it. Yes, I got so into the reading, I forgot to even look at the Instagram. So I don't mean to ignore you there. I love it. I love it. So, and love that you here also, Lubna. You're also a regular. Wonderful, wonderful. I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're enjoying. Please comment. Please comment. I love when you comment. I love when you share. All right, so let's continue to read here. All right,
yes.
this line: "It shall be to him then, as our good wills, a sure destruction." The multi-layeredness of this, I love it. I really love multi-layeredness. It's a big deal to me. It's important, and I love it. I haven't seen Norma, and did I maybe miss Norma? No, maybe Norma had to go, so I don't know. I need to change this. Actually, I forgot to change it back. Maybe I'm not seeing the comments because I had it on Nobelia. Now I took the whole thing away. All right. Well, if you see any comments from Norma, please let me know. Other than that, hello, hello, Norma. Always love when you're here. Always love when you're here. Yeah, and when you come here, that's all good too. You know, life is busy. All right. "It shall be to him then, as our good wills, a sure destruction, Brutus. So it must fall out. To him or our authorities, for an end, we must suggest the people in what hatred he still hath held them." Now their skullduggery starts to come more clear. We must suggest the people in what hatred he still hath held them. He's not a fan of the people, well, at least the lazy ones in his mind who just want stuff for nothing, right? And don't want to work for it. And in his mind, earning it is being in the military. Okay. But still, right? He's going to remind them of this hatred, right? He's stoked trouble, in other words. He still hath held them. That's whose power he would have made them mules, silenced their pleaders, and dispropertied their freedoms, holding them in human action and capacity, of no more soul nor fitness for the world than camels in their war, who have their provand only for bearing burdens, and sore blows for sinking under them. Right? So he's saying this, hey, we're going to remind the people that according to Coriolanus, they just but like poor beasts of burden that have to suffer under their burdens and then get beaten for if they have too much on them, right? If the camel sinks under this over too much burden, they get beaten for it. It's like, man, that's like really a sucky way of being, yeah. So they're going to stir trouble now to remind the people of this. Sicinius, this, as you say, suggested at some time when his roaring insolence shall touch the people. So we're going to have to wait our time for when he says something that the people don't like. Right now, we can't do much. Yeah, shall
Yes.
touch the people, which time shall not want. Yeah, he says it's going to come soon, if it be, but if it be put upon, and that's as easy as to set dogs on sheep, will be his fire to kindle their dry stubble, and their blaze shall darken him forever. Enter messenger. Brutus, what's the matter, messenger? You are sent for to the capital. 'Tis thought that Marcius shall be consul. The messenger doesn't say Coriolanus, he says Marcius. Interesting. Either the messenger is aware of the two of theirs antipathy towards old Marcius, now Coriolanus, or he just hasn't updated yet. Yeah, messenger, you are sent for to the capital. 'Tis thought that Marcius shall be consul. I have seen the dumb men throng to see him. Yes, so he's not a fan here. I have seen the dumb men throng to see him, and the blind to hear him speak. Matrons flung gloves, ladies and maids their scarves and handkerchiefs upon him as he passed. The nobles bended as to Jove's statue, and the commons made a shower and thunder with their caps and shouts. I never saw the like. In other words, he's much acclaimed. He's the big hero. Everybody loves him right now. Yes. So the
Yes.
messenger, not a fan either, right? Because he said this. Let's see. I never saw the like, but he said something else that indicated that. Yeah. Oh, the dumb, and yeah. Anyway. So yeah, he's not a fan either. But anyway, Brutus, let's to the capital and carry with us ears and eyes for the time, but hearts for the event. Sicinius, have with you hearts for the event. And let's keep our true selves a bit hidden here. Yes. Let's not show what we're about. All right. So we'll continue with Act 2, Scene 2 tomorrow. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Act 2, Scene 2.
Yes.
Brilliant. And it's a nice ending too, because now we get this
Exactly.
whole new thing at the Capitol, all the stuff, him running for consul and all this. Yeah,
Exactly.
what fascinates me in this?
Yeah.
I've yet to see why this was recommended on that reading list. Yeah. It's a very good
Uh,
reading list. It had lots of good works on it that I know from having read them before. And this
yes.
one, I read all Shakespeare, but I don't remember this specifically. And it's not one of his more famous plays like Hamlet or Macbeth or whatever, King Lear or Richard III, right? A Midsummer Night's Dream, those ones. This is not one that is a big deal. So I'm not sure why this has been recommended. I don't see it yet. Why? Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. It does show some nice superiority paradigm nonsense coming from those two, the two tribunes, Sicinius and Brutus. Very wonderful.
Yes.
Very wonderful. Very cool. All right.
Yes.
Any
Okay.
any
Well,
comments
thank you
to
so
add?
much. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing. Sometimes,
Absolutely.
as I am observing, sometimes people just choose and pick some of the kind of overlooked or unknown things. Okay, and then say, okay, okay, you have to pay attention to this also
Yeah.
because they are bringing it into light. So that sometimes it happens. But as far as I'm, because this is my first experience with Shakespeare, this thing is.
Yeah.
I'm amazed by that how much we almost many, okay, not almost all, but okay, many of the writers uh, are in the character building from Shakespeare. Of course, very few is actually reaching that
Yeah.
level, but the character, the nuance and the details, and of course the psychology of characters, the way he is uh, describing, sharing, projecting is brilliant because it is almost like you are there and you are actually seeing those people what they are doing, and especially and specifically he is able to explain their intents without directly saying it. This is so wonderful of it. So for me, reading Shakespeare, of course, just listening to it is something very profound. Again, this could be only because that I am able to do that. I'm practicing to extract value out of everything, and of course, I'm learning to practice capital H hearing. These all can be, of course, including factors into this. But whatever it is, it doesn't negate the value of Shakespeare, reading Shakespeare. So thank you so much for sharing. We will see you guys tomorrow and we will continue with this. Hopefully, I'll be able to. I'm having this eye infection and this is causing me a problem. Anyway, but
Oh,
I'm
it's
really,
all good, Mina. Stuff happens. Stuff
yes.
happens.
And thank you so much for that, Sil, because yes, even when I was just trying to read it with you, that was a completely different experience. And today,
Yeah.
just hearing that is a completely different experience.
Right. So
Anyway,
now we see Beena was reading yesterday, the day before yesterday, but her eyes weren't exactly right. She was struggling to physically read. Yes. So it
yes.
just adds to how well you were doing, Beena. It's fantastic.
Wow. Okay. So today I'm even struggling with pictures. Yes, yesterday it was just
Wow.
words. So yes, it
Wow.
was like okay, wow. Anyway, thank you so much,
Wow.
Sil, for
So
sharing.
I think
And
you need like hot cucumbers on your eyes or something like that. I don't know.
yes, yes, okay. If
Dipped
you
in
guys
vinegar
have
and lemon
opinions,
juice.
yes.
I don't know why, but try it.
You
I
are
was sort of
trying to
being
make
funny,
some
but I
atomic
think
rabbit.
there's actually some real validity to it. hot cucumber
No,
slices dipped in
no lemon.
vinegar
No,
and
sorry.
lemon
You are
juice.
actually making an atomic recipe, very
No,
disastrous
but
for eyes.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I started off as a joke, but then I wow, no, but that actually sounds like it really would help.
No, the lemon is
Look it
not.
up.
No, sorry.
Look it up. At least look it up and see if it is something real.
I
I'm guessing
I
it
know
is.
still cucumbers do help, but lemon, sorry, no, I know.
Why? Mild lemon and vinegar. You just dip it in
No,
there.
still no citrus in eyes. No,
Oh,
no, nope, nope,
but
no
maybe with the
citrus.
vinegar it does something. I don't know.
No, still no, nope.
Ah,
Anyway, this is good. This is
be well, beautiful Beena. Be well, be well, be
yes.
well.
Okay. Thank you so much for everyone who was watching us live and will be, watch
Yes.
us recorded. Please, if you find our channel and just stay with us and just hear some even a bit, please do click like and
Yeah.
subscribe and leave a comment there, because by doing that you are going to help not only us but also yourself, because this is a huge deal. Train your algorithm. It's a big deal in the
Yeah.
world of AI. You need to provide precise data, relevant data, what you really want in your life. It is going to be very, very helpful in future, and also it is going to give you less stress, because even when we don't consider a lot of nonsense in our news feed, in our Instagram, or any internet online platform, it gives you stress, irrelevant information. Also, it actually strip off your attention span more and more and more. And that's why people are not pleasingly, they are just saying that okay, now people have just less than attention span of less than goldfish. This is something that you, when you keep scrolling, and you train your mind to jump,
Yeah.
you are training by scrolling daily. You are training your mind exactly like you are doing an exercise, that okay, you
Yep.
don't need,
Yep.
you have
Yep.
to jump
Yep.
immediately. You don't need to remember, and you are training your mind to not remember anything, to not pay
Or training
attention.
yourself to have attention deficit disorder, in other words.
Exactly. So it is something we are creating for ourselves, these type of syndromes
Correct.
and diseases, or whatever you want to say that.
Emphasis and emotion, in other words. Pay attention to
Exactly,
that.
you are creating for yourself. So please, whenever you watch something, whenever you have something in your life, which actually just slow down and don't actually don't try to get your attention with visuals and other gimmicks and all that, please do pay attention. And if you find value, please do click like, because by doing
Yes.
so, you are going to help future generation also. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.
Yes. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. And live video and meeting.